Olushola Fasua, presently the Chief Executive Officer, CEO of the Association of National Accountants of Nigeria, ANAN. ANAN is one of the two statutorily recognized professional accountancy organizations in Nigeria with over 50,000 membership. I am 53 years old, going to 54. I'll be 54 this year in the next maybe 3 months from now. And before becoming the CEO of ANAN, I was the Director General of the Nigerian College of Accountancy in Kwal here in Jos between 2019 and 2022. I am married with children. Okay, so I was born in 1969 in Lagos, Nigeria, and I went through the normal school system for what children will really have as growing up. I did my WAEC in those days, call it WAEC, in 1985. And coincidentally, my major when I was growing up in school was not in commercial line. I was a social science student, and my strongest course that time was geography. And so in 1986, I got admission into University of Lagos to study geography. But when I got the admission, it was almost late. So by the time I went for registration had closed. And then my father said, no, okay, my dad is an accountant, he's late. He's one of the earliest accountants in this country then. And he said, no, I want you to be an accountant. He saw one advert in the newspaper. There was this school called Plateau School of Accountancy and Management Studies in Jos here in those days. And so in 1987 or so, he sent me to Jos. And I came and enrolled in that school. Did ordinary diploma. After some time, went for IT, came back, did higher diploma. In the course of that, I enrolled for computer studies in 1990. And in 1993, when I was having my higher diploma in accounting in 1993, I had also already had skills and certification in ICT. And so it became a major strength for me, because at that time only few people knew about computers. And so I ended up being a trainer in computer studies in this Plateau State then, in this Jos, between 1992, 93, and 1997. In 1995, I saw an advert for ANAN, Nigerian College of Accountancy, as a student. And it's for graduates, so I applied. Unfortunately for me, I got the admission. And so I was in the Nigerian College of Accountancy here between 1995 and 1996. I happened to be in the SEC Course 2 of the Nigerian College of Accountancy. Today, Nigerian College of Accountancy is in Course 29. And I'm a member of the Course 2. And I graduated in 1996. In 1997, and I continued what I was doing in Jos. In 1997, I got wind that the college needed a lecturer on information technology. And information technology at that time was not common. So we were finding it difficult to get someone. We go to the bank, the average IT person in the bank is conscripted only to that is server room and stuff like that. There was no little literature at that time about it. And so it gave some of us who had skilled ourselves in it opportunity. And I applied. And in 1997, I got appointed as a part-time lecturer in Nigerian College of Accountancy. And I built the IT base for the college. In 1998, I was employed as a full-time staff in the college, as a systems analyst of the college, as a lecturer in the course, and as a personal assistant to the Director General then, Reverend Canon Professor Emeritus Benjamin Chuka Osisioma. And since then, I've been in the college. And that is in Jos. And while in the college, I held various positions. I was systems analyst at some point in time. When the college had some challenge about accountants, I became acting accountant for about a year. I became the first bursar of the college. From there, I became Director ICT, the first Director ICT of the Nigerian College of Accountancy Corps. I was Director Student Affairs. I taught in the college between 1997 and 2019, when the office of the Director General became vacant again. Within this period, I'd worked with about 3 or 4 Director Generals of the college. And then in 2019, the office became vacant, and this time around, I applied and went through a very competitive interview with professors and the likes, and by the help of God, I was appointed the Director General of the Nigerian College of Accountancy in 2019. And between 2019 and 2022, I was the DG of the college. In 2022, the office of the Chief Executive Officer of the Association of National Accountants of Nigeria became vacant. Now, the Nigerian College of Accountancy is the training arm of the Association of National Accountants of Nigeria, ANAN. ANAN is the only professional accountancy organization in the world that has a college. Other ones, you want to be a member of their professional body, you just go and prepare. They'll give you syllabus, you go and read, attend lectures anywhere. But in the case of ANAN, you must come to the college, whether as a full-time student or as a part-time student. And it's only graduates of accounting and allied courses that are admitted for ANAN program. It's after you finish in the college, you write the examination of ANAN in the college at the various locations, and you are successful on it, that you can now apply for membership of ANAN. So I was Director General of the college for 3 years. Then the office of the CEO of the ANAN itself became vacant, and I also applied, and by the help of God, I became the CEO of the Association of National Accountants of Nigeria in 2022 till now. For academic and professional qualification, I had a higher diploma in accounting, but it wasn't an accredited higher diploma. So I eventually went again and had an HND in accounting. Later, I had a BSc in accounting. So I have a higher diploma in accounting, HND in accountancy, BSc accounting. I have a postgraduate diploma in financial management as far back as 1997. I have an MBA. I have an MSc accounting. The MSc accounting, I actually went to Leeds, United Kingdom, to have the MSc accounting. And I also have a PhD accounting and finance from Nassau State University. That's about 8 years ago or 9 years ago. Professionally, I'm a fellow of the Association of National Accountants of Nigeria. I'm a fellow of the Chartered Institute of Taxation of Nigeria. I'm a fellow of the Chartered Treasury Management of Nigeria. I'm a member of the Nigerian Institute of Management. In ICT, I'm certified in risk and information security. I'm also a certified ethical hacker. Anyway, I happen to be someone that I call it is a grace of God. Even as I am now, I don't even really see anything about achievements. I just see myself just doing my things. It's very important that in achieving success in life, the fundamental is believing that, like I'm a Christian, the Bible says, by strength shall no man prevail. It is not your strength. It is the grace of God, first and foremost. So you must recognize that God at the base. Secondly, is diligence and discipline. again, pardon me, because I know it's not everybody that is a Christian that will read this document or watch it. But the Bible says, seest thou a man who is diligent in his business? Say, he shall stand before king. He shall not stand before mean men. That has been my watchword for like about 20 years now. Till today, one of the major issues that my wife or anybody who is close to me has with me is you don't rest. And I don't know how to rest. I only rest when I travel out of my base, because maybe what I've come to do, I don't need to be there until like 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. So I can sleep till like about 7, and it really refreshes me if I'm able to sleep till about 7 a.m. Otherwise, if I'm in my base, I'll have to wake up by 6 and start rushing. In the nights, I don't sleep early. I must have one thing or the other that I'm doing. So discipline, diligence, there is no shortcut to any success. One thing again, it may sound a little bit frivolous for me, is people's attention to communication gadgets that they have. For instance, this my handset, I think I have a handset now. When MTN came, is it 1990, 2002 or thereabouts? Since 2002 that I've had the handset, I've never switched it off. Any handset I have. So people tell you, oh, switch off your phone, rest and stuff. No, if I'm going into the bathroom to take my bath, my phone is somewhere. My bosses can call me at any time. Many times I'll be under the shower, I'll pick a call, I'll put it on speaker. I will talk. You can never say that I didn't pick your call, except I'm in a meeting. But the phone will ring, I will call back. I've had my bosses call me as late as 1 a.m., 2 a.m. 1 second ringing, I'll pick. They say, you mean you've not slept? Anyway, I trust you pick your call at 10%. Those little things count, because the day they are going to make decisions about you, those are the soft decisions, soft skills that they will use to make decisions about you. But it's all about deep discipline in every areas of life. But you see, getting up to this level, there's been challenges. Of course, you have to deal with people. You have to deal with people that are envious of you. You have to deal with people that you have to work with. Because again, there is no success you can achieve without other people. And I see myself as a leader. And essentially, I define leadership as first and foremost about having relationship with people. Leadership is essentially about relationship. If you don't have, if the people you are leading, you don't have good relationship with them, you are not a leader. You become a boss. So the first thing is that I create relationship consciously with the people I'm leading, so that I can positively influence them. Because everybody will tell you leadership is about influence. But how do you influence the people that you don't have a good relationship with? And so you positively influence them. But in the course of that, you know there is not everybody that will toe the line that you want them to toe. And those ones that are also on the other side, you must have a means of making them to believe in your vision, because that's what leadership is all about. So I've grown up, I've had discipline, diligence. Of course, to acquire academic qualification and professional qualification, funds are involved. I had to borrow money to do this. And basically, it's just about that. I can't remember all my prizes in this town. God, I've lived in Gengere before. If you know I lived in the interior part of Gengere before in the 1990s, between 1997. No, even between 1993 and 1997. There's really been too many. People have looked down on you. One day, my brother, Fasua, he's a major. He just finished speaking on Channels Television now. He was a politician. He had whatever. One day he called me and says, okay, I think you need to do a biography of yourself. Because he said, I know what you have gone through to be where you are. He told me, he said, I know you will say he's God. I believe he's God, but there's also a lot of things on your part. And so maybe by the grace of God, by the time I'll be clocking 60, by the grace of God, I will have a biography. Good. So when I became the DG of the college, before I became the DG of the college, you know, I'd been in the system for like about maybe almost 20 years, 1998 to 2019. And within that period, I'd worked with staff. One thing that is important that people should have, whether you're a leader or whatever, is to have compassion for people. I'm a Rotarian of the Rotary Club of Jos Central. I'm going to be the president of that club in the next 6 months or 5 months from now. You have compassion for people that you work with, not to talk of people that are under you. People have their various issues that you don't know, and they will never come and tell you. So even before I became the DG of the college, I had beautiful, good relationship with majority of the staff. And those relationships based on meeting needs of people generally, especially junior staff and so on. So when I became the DG of the college, it was a beautiful relationship that I had within that 3 months. 3 years I was with them. We were friends. I was friends with, even to today I'm friends with my staff. I don't see myself as one boss like that. My staff enter my office, we talk together, we eat together, we go out together. Visitors will come and say, are you sure that is the DG or that's the CEO? How is it that your CEO is just free with you like that? Of course, when it comes to the job to be done, you know the job must be done. But I give people easy access to me and for them to be free to identify with me. I do a lot of what we call management by wondering about, MBWA. And so while in the college, even now as the CEO, within the first few months, when I became CEO, for instance, I knew the name of all the staff. In Abuja, for instance, when I enter my office is for 4-story building. I won't use the lift. I go from office to office, greet my staff in the morning. Oh, how are you doing? What's your name? So when I see you next time, I call you, oh, John, how are you doing? How's your family? Oh, this and that. And it brings a form of trust on their part. And it gives them a sense of belonging. And it makes them to see the job as their own and not, it's their own and not it's the Oga's own like that. So when I was in the college, I had a lot of good staff as the DG of the college, and we did a lot of things. First and foremost, I was able to digitalize the college within that 3 years before I left. We had our first online examination of ANAN while in the college. I can't remember everything now. Did a lot of infrastructural improvement, renovation, brought in a lot of activities in. The staff welfare was improved upon greatly, and people were very happy. Of course, it can't be 100% anyway and stuff like that. But a major thing was that I believe so much in touching the lives of people. In my church, I happened to be the head of what we call hospitality unit for many years. And so it was easy for me to be doing that. And so when I became the DG, I looked at the community. And I called my staff. I said, this is what I want to do, and this is what we are going to do. It does not mean that we must have plenty of money, but you can do it. And so when we identify projects, I take it to the classroom to the students. Because even as DG, I was still entering the classroom to be lecturing when I'm in town. And I sold the idea to them with passion. If you are passionate about something, people will follow, people will believe in it. And so while being the DG of Kayode for that 3 years, even though in the midst of it, we also had the challenges of COVID and so on. At least we identified villages in Kwal that were able to sink borehole. So we sank 3 boreholes within that 3 years. So as a matter of fact, when we were commissioning those boreholes, they are emotional period. I remember in one of the villages where we commissioned the borehole, when the elders came out and the villagers, one of the elders said that in his life, he never thought he never thought that till he would die he would see a borehole. That he only hears about borehole when politicians come to campaign. But look at borehole in their community today. Okay, so Annan has a vision that I won't cram. But that's a vision of making Annan the premium brand of choice in accounting profession in Nigeria. And it talks about impacting on accounting education and practice. But in achieving that vision, Annan has a mission. And that mission is being executed mainly by the Nigerian College of Accountancy. Is to produce well-rounded, well-blended professional accountants who are skillful in practice and so on and so forth. And so without accounting, or without the accountant, a nation cannot prosper. That's the truth. Because it is the accountant that lets you know what you have, how you can use it, and what is the performance of the usage of what you have. So ultimately, the prosperity of a nation depends on the accountant, not just because you have resources or just that you have money. For instance now, of course, everybody does one form of accounting or the other as an individual. But if you don't do it so, you have 1,000 naira in your hand now, and you don't do proper budgeting for it. That 1,000 naira will finish in 1 minute, and you'll be asking yourself, how did I spend this money? And you become poor again. You don't have that money in your hand. But somebody else who does proper accounting has the 1,000 naira in his hand. He plans for it very well, even before the money comes into his hand, and he knows how to spend it. At the end of the day, he still has some change in his hand for tomorrow. He's not poor. He will not be looking for what to eat tomorrow, unlike the person who does not even have account for it, who just spend it. So in any nation, for instance, as a nation like Nigeria, there must be a budget before we even enter the incoming year. It's the accountant that prepares that budget. It's the accountant that tells you how to spend the money. He knows the spending limit on a particular expenditure head. He's the one that will advise the chief executive, okay, if you spend this particular amount, it will affect this, it will affect this. So we call it financial advisor. But it's so that ultimately the goals and objectives can be met. The goals and objectives, for instance, of a government is to deliver service to the people. Service in the form of electricity, pipe-borne water, good road, security, and so on. If the funds are not there, those things will not be able to be done. Forget about corruption. We know that one. I'm just talking generally now. But without the accountant... Because I wanted to ask but without the accountant, the government will not be able to do all those things. So with the mission and vision of Annan in producing accountants that are competent enough for nation building, helps to also positively affect the Nigerian nation. Oh no, it just came out of the blues. I thought it was even fraud. It was later I began to have, I know I've had the Plateau Man of the Year award, but faintly. And I never thought, who am I? I'm not a Plateau person, so why will they consider me for such thing? Nobody even called me to tell me that there's something like this ongoing. I never had an idea that there was even a vote or a nomination for anything of that such, nothing. And I was pleasantly surprised, and I am extremely happy. Emotionally, I said something to myself. God knows how he does his things. To me, I said, it is the way God has decided to do it. I was in Jos for more than 30 years. I was in the college impacting the community. The community never showed any, maybe they didn't have the capacity to show any appreciation. But I was not doing it for the appreciation. The only thing I got was that on January 1st, 2022, with my friend, Honorable Bagos, we were in Vuang, and I was given a title in Vuang as the Davo Vuang on 1st January 2022. And that's a honor that I have from Plateau State. I'm now in Abuja, and I didn't get anything. And suddenly, Plateau Man of the Year award came when I'm no longer in Jos. I believe that God knows what he is doing. I don't know how to express myself on it, but it's deeper, much more than what I am saying. And I am very, very happy and grateful to God for it. My last word is for them to keep at what they are doing, be diligent at it. It has shown a lot of integrity. Like what you said earlier, you don't try to interfere with the process. I see this award becoming an award that will be nationally recognized in the nearest future, and to wish them God's grace and good success.